Hey everyone, this is Video Game Lover here, and welcome to another edition of What Games Did I Finish for this month. So, I finished about 12 games for the month of January. It was a really good month for me, and without further ado, we begin. So, the first game that I beat for 2023, I can't show it to you because my PSP is not, charged. I forgot to charge it. Is Castlevania Rondo of Blood, the original. Now, at the end of 2022, I finished the remake of Castlevania Dracula X Rondo of Blood, which was really good. But I really like the original one just a little bit more, even though the remake is great. But I just like the original one just a tiny bit more. But I had a lot of fun with that game. It's a great game. Highly recommend it. The next game that I finished was Splatterhouse, the original Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16, which actually makes it the first, unless you want to count Rondo of Blood, even though that's part of the TurboGrafx 16 engine, PC engine. The second TurboGrafx 16 game that I finished. I really enjoyed Splatterhouse. It's a little bit challenging, but it's really, really short. You can get through it pretty quickly. It's a really good game, though. So I really enjoyed Splatterhouse on the TurboGrafx 16. The next game that I finished, which I don't own anymore because it was complete trash, but I did finish it anyways, was Transformers, the official game on the PS2. Who came up with the Ironhide boss battle? Who came up with that boss? That has to be one of the most worst, poorly programmed bosses I think I've ever played in my life. That game was terrible. I can't believe I beat it. It was atrocious. So next we have the Blob 2. Now we're going not in the order. The Blob 2 on the DS. I was not the biggest fan of the Blob 2, but then again, that was like 12 years ago when I last played and finished it. So I decided to check out the DS version, and I actually had a lot of fun with this version. It's very simple. It's really good. This game takes place after the first game, but before the second game. It's a lot of fun, but the only problem, it's really, 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 really easy. Like, this was one of the easiest platformers I've ever beaten in my entire life. Seriously, this game is so easy, but I still had a good time. Alright, next we have, of course, Pokemon Violet. I finished this game the second week of January, and I already did a review of this game, and basically my thoughts are the same. This could have been one of the greatest Pokemon games of all time because the story is very good. I like some of the Pokemon, but the problem with this game is the performance is really bad, the graphics are really bad, and and even though it's open world, you still have to do the gym leaders in order. It's just dumb. It's wasted potential. This could have been one of the best entries of the series, but they squandered it, unfortunately. They squandered it big time. Alright, so now let me go do these games in this order. Sorry about this. I should have done this. There we go. Alright. The next game that I finished, I'll put them right here. Rebel Raiders for the PS2. This is it. Mediocre average game. I thought it was like Ace Combat, kind of similar to Lethal Skies, which I didn't like, but it's more like an Afterburner clone. It's serviceable, it's passable, but it's nothing really amazing about this game, so it's whatever. That's all I gotta say is whatever. Next up we have Crash Nitro Kart. Now, this is a good game. However, I don't think it's as good as Crash Team Racing, the original one. The one thing I did not like about this game is how frustrating the single player is. The AI is so cheap in this game. There's a lot of that rubber band AI. And the worst part of all is, if you don't 100% this game, you get the bad ending. And I'm like, no. You don't tell me what to do. I beat the game. The final boss was already hard enough. I beat the game still. I beat it. So it's a good game, but I didn't like that decision they made of how you have to 100% it to get the best ending. And it's like, and if not, you get the bad ending. It's like, why? Why did you do that? I guess it's because people will go through this so quickly, but come on, the original didn't have that, you know, so a good game, and this game actually has zero gravity, which is really cool. So, next up we have, oh boy, the Mark of Cree, or the Mark of Cry. I know that there's a lot of people that like this game, but I'm here to say this, that in my humble opinion, this game did not age well at all. And this may go down as one of the most frustrating, miserable experiences I ever had in a video game in a long time. And if I'm ever going back to this game, I'll be cheating my way. I'll make sure the enemies aren't that weak, strong. This game is unbelievably hard, and I don't know why. From the clunky controls, the controls are so stiff at times, the way that the way Raoh moves, the combat is not all that great. It's a shame because this game looks great. The music for the most part is good. The story is good, but the gameplay is just not all that good. I'm sorry to say this, I did not like this game that much. If I'm ever going back to this game, it will be using cheats. I don't know how the sequel is, and I'm afraid to try that out, so don't know. Next up, we have Fantastic Four. Mega Man 29 did a playthrough of this game, I think a month or 2 months ago. It's a decent beat 'em up. It's definitely one of the better like licensed movie beat 'em ups on the PS2. You can get this on the GameCube and the Xbox. The only thing I don't like about this game is I wish the controls were a little bit tighter. There was moments like in the museum and the temple levels where I was hitting the X button and it wouldn't register. It was getting really frustrating, but after that, it's mostly a fun beat 'em up. Not like the most best game in the world, but it's still an okay game. And we have Dynasty Warriors 5, which many consider to be one of the best of the classic Dynasty Warriors game. And yes, this was a lot of fun. I once again used Dion Wei. Sometimes I'll use different characters, but this was a really fun game. I really enjoyed Dynasty Warriors 5 a lot. This is a really good game, but after this, it's kind of when the series went down, but then it kind of picked up with 7 and 8, and then it just really went downhill after 9. So, but nonetheless, really happy to finish Dynasty Warriors 9. And then the last 2 games that I finished were Godzilla Unleashed on the PS2, which was a fun game. I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be, but the problem with the PS2 version, it's really just Godzilla Save the Earth with just the stages from Godzilla Unleashed and the story mode. That's really it. Aside from that, like, they only added like 2 new characters, and that's really about it. And also I finished Tails Sky Patrol, which was the first Game Gear game that I finished in a very long time. I think the last one I beat was Incredible Hulk, but I finished that game. An okay game, could be a little bit annoying, but it's very, very short. You can beat that game in like 20 minutes or so. So yeah, those are the games that I finished for the month of January. So let me know what games did you finish this month, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people like these types of videos, and don't worry, on February, I'll be doing this again. So thank you guys for watching Video Game 158. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.